Welcome to another edition of the Instant Wrestling Report alongside my partners Robert and Ryan. I'm your host J-Man. In this edition of the Instant Report, we're going to do our IWR Topix show. Three topics going to be coming here are Sin Cara, Jeff Hardy, and overall wrestling fans, kind of our opinions on all the different types that you get in the wrestling community, I guess you could say. The first thing we're going to cover is Sin Cara, the incoming debut of this star, the international star that should be coming. You know, that it should be outstanding. I'm really excited for it. You know, get this flavor that we've gotten with guys like Del Rio and something like that. We've gotten this, and I expect him to be just vaulted with these these vignettes they've been showing and really pimping him to be something really special, and I think he will be really special. But Sin Cara incoming debut, what do you guys think about that?
Only I've seen him in all the vignettes, and I've been watching him really close. And it's like this guy's high flying, looks like he can mat wrestle a little bit, everything, the international flavor. As long as they put him in the right matches with people like Daniel Bryan or Rey Mysterio or even Justin Gabriel or even maybe Del Rio down the line, somebody that's going to let him show his talent but yet show their talent, so you can have a nice back and forth match.
Yeah, I've seen Sin Cara before for years as Mystico in CMLL, and just an outstanding talent in the ring. A lot of people considered him, him and Rey Mysterio, they were like back and forth. They that dream match. They always want to see Rey Mysterio versus Mystico. That was one thing that a lot of people wanted to see over the years. He's literally become the biggest box office draw in Mexico, like Mexican history for wrestling. He makes so much money for them, and it's a fantastic job by WWE to pick up this guy, to really just pick up their international fans around the world. I know their pay-per-views sell all over the place now. Their viewings, they have all different languages. And it's just great to see this guy come in. He's absolute great talent, and he's got this this ability to like the Rey Mysterio factor, where he's got that superhero kind of thing where fans are gonna like him just because he's in a mask, and that kind of thing. But the ability will show in the ring. He's got outstanding talent, and I'm excited to see him come in the upcoming future. And by the way, Sin Cara means faceless.
Yeah,
in
Spanish. Really cool.
Which is really cool. Yeah.
But I think also with the Sin Cara coming in, guys like Alberto Del Rio, and guys like Danielson coming from Ring of Honor, and CM Punk and Evan Bourne, and those kind of guys coming in, it really just shows that WWE really has a grasp on the overall talent of the wrestling world, and not just something like where they get the normal kind of like John Cena, those kind of guys. They're really seeing that, like, not really independent scene, but really the scene that's outside of the mainstream wrestling, and they understand that people like us really value great wrestling ability and great stuff like that. And I think that's awesome that we get to see somebody like Sin Cara come in.
Yeah, I mean, Vince is looking worldwide. That's a worldwide entertainment. He's trying to get these people from India, like Great Khali, Mexico, Japan, bringing them all to his company so everybody tunes in, buys the pay-per-views, the merchandise. Sin Cara, he's going to be probably a face when he comes in.
I bet he'll be on SmackDown too.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he'll be on SmackDown.
There's a lot of talk about where he's going to be, but I mean, I've heard different things. But I know that they're getting people from all over different. I really think they in the future they need to pick up a Japanese guy who's real credible. I know they bring in Japanese guys and just kind of crap on them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys that don't speak English, they kind of just crap on them a little bit. So, but I do think they need to bring in a Japanese guy that really can just fill that mold for that fan also.
But Sin Cara, incoming debut, we're all really excited about that. Should be great things there. Moving on to a TNA topic here, covering the former TNA champion and just total debacle that is Jeff Hardy. This past Sunday at Victory Road, we saw just a total, I don't even know, just a debacle. It was just horrible. And just showing Jeff Hardy with the problems that he has outside of the ring and the problems he's maybe gotten like politically wise or something like that. But Jeff Hardy, a guy really needs to either figure out what he's doing and get together and figure out what he's going with his path, or just get out of it. I really don't understand.
Well, the first thing he needs is go to rehab. And then he needs to get out of the wrestling business.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you leave WWE because you're a damn drug problem, you show up in TNA and you're a main event match that a lot of fans tuned into because Sting's returning. Sting took the title from him. We're kind of wanting this match to be something, and it was nothing. Jeff Hardy, you see stuff on YouTube about it. You see stuff, in fact, he was passed out in the bathroom. TNA knew there was a problem before the end of the pay-per-view. They could have done anything besides what they did. Not only just Jeff Hardy at fault in this. TNA's at fault. Bischoff, Hogan.
Yeah.
They could have done something early, the Matt Hardy AJ match. You could have brought AJ back and then,
Matt Hardy, anything.
Yeah.
Anybody that would. I mean, Matt Hardy looked a little,
yeah.
little loopy too, but I mean, anyone.
Well, this is a whole group of them. I mean, the Hardy Boys are known for being high all the time. I mean, it's just, yeah.
I don't know. Jeff Hardy, I actually, I enjoyed his gimmick in TNA, the Antichrist deal where he's a heel and he plays this, he cuts dark promos and does, but I mean, you can't carry that over. I know it's a character you're playing, but you can't just be high, what? I understand, okay, listen, Justin's straight edge, right? I'm not, but I respect people who are. I understand it takes a lot of people, people who are that. That's great. But if you want to get high on your own time. But don't get high and then come to a wrestling show.
Not when $1 million company is putting trust
and
in
people
you.
are paying
Like,
for you to wrestle. Like, I understand that, that's your thing, whatever, you do that. Okay, whatever. But just don't do it before you're, I don't care what you do when you're not in the wrestling ring. That's me personally. I go back to this every time when people totally shit on me for liking Chris Benoit, for his ability in the ring, in his matches. It's not going to stop me from watching his old matches. If I'm not going to not watch Jeff Hardy's older matches that are good just because he's high right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like they really need to figure out what they're doing with this guy or let him go because he's really just making a big mess for TNA.
Well, not only he's making a big mess for himself and for TNA, he's making a mess for other people. Look at the economy in the world. People are buying these pay-per-views, wanting to see good matches, great matches, spending the money they don't have for them, and then TNA delivers this to us.
Yeah.
I mean, TNA, it's their fault too because they knew earlier in the day he was passed out in the bathroom. They could have pulled an audible then and rearranged the card a little bit and done something in the main event. Kurt Angle wasn't on the card. Throw him in the main event, former world champion. Jeff Jarrett, former world champion.
But also, you look at this from another angle. This actually, at the same time, as much as it hurts TNA, it helps TNA because of the controversy it created and because of all the buzz it got. I know that, Eric Bischoff is synonymous for being that guy who controversy creates cash.
There was a sign in the crowd that said this too.
Yeah, so, it could be like, okay, we knew this, but maybe we'll take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But even at that, you don't shit on your fans and give us a 1-minute main event. That's just unheard of, unless you give us 1-minute main event and then you have a surprise somebody else show up and then beat Sting for the title.
But this is
That's how you do that.
Second time we've had a main event like this in companies that Eric Bischoff's been running.
Yeah.
The other one he ran into the ground and put him out of business.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully Jeff Hardy either goes away and figures something out with his life or gets something situated. But that whole debacle should continue, which is just sad. But moving on now to our third topic, we're going to be talking about just overall wrestling fans. People that watch our show, people watch the rest of the show, people just watch wrestling. The landscape of wrestling has really forced wrestling fans to change. I believe. I think back in the late '90s when you had guys like me and Ryan who were younger kids and watching stuff that was pretty not really for us, not really stuff that we should be watching. Half naked chicks and awesome angles that was really going into things that were in things that weren't really for us. The blood aspect. And really, WWE and just WWE standards is really playing to that, child factor that, the kids that are, that whole, the John Cena fans. There you go. But there's also, that whole entire realm of, independent wrestling where it's, guys, like Ring of Honor and, Dragon Gate and those kind of companies like that are that, really, garner towards those fans that miss that, wrestling aspect of it. That hardcore wrestling aspect of it. But then, and then TNA is kind of something else, which we can talk about that. But we got thoughts on, wrestling fans.
In my 16 years of watching wrestling, I've been to WCW shows. I've been in WWF, WWE, TNA, ROH. Fans of all the companies, even from the 90s to now, WWE, WWF, completely different.
Yeah.
Back then, like these guys said, it wasn't for the kids. Half-naked chicks, the cussing,
Blood.
the DX, all those stuff they pulled. Kids didn't need to be watching this.
We loved it, though.
Yeah, they all loved it, but they didn't need to be watching it. Nowadays, it's all geared toward the kids.
Yeah.
The problem is, Vince doesn't realize the kids aren't buying these pay-per-views. The parents are. It's the parents who were watching it in the 90s, who loved what they were doing, are the ones buying the pay-per-views. It's not directed toward the kids. You go to a Ring of Honor event, which we did in Chicago, there wasn't too many kids in that audience.
No.
and it's the best wrestling you're going to see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like me personally, from when I watched from, I was really hardcore young, in the 90s and the mid, early 2000s, and then up in there when I was the companies, WWE was real hot and they weren't PG. Now that the fans that were then, they kind of shit on us and went to PG and kind of left us hanging, saying, hey, we're done with you. We're gonna usher in a new generation. When you're a wrestling fan, you just watch. You watch forever.
Yeah.
You watch all the time. You're a fan of wrestling. You watch from the time you started until the time you die. Like that's just how it is. You watch wrestling.
That's if you're a true wrestling fan.
That's a true wrestling fan. And it's just like like I said, we recently just went to Ring of Honor's 9th anniversary show in Chicago, and then a couple weeks later we went to Raw, and the atmospheres of
Wow.
it was just two different levels. It was so bizarre. We tried to just get chants going, and fans are just so out there, and that you go to Ring of Honor show, you get this indie hardcore like ECW feel, and you're in the show.
Yeah.
You're in the show, and everyone's in it. And then you go to a WWE show, and it's more like, oh, let's sit here, we'll watch, be cool.
It's like
and,
watching a play.
yeah, it's like watching, and it's still fun because it's wrestling, but
there's no involvement.
what was it we had? There was a lady behind us. Did she said something about
just is cartoonish and is like, oh, this isn't, it's gonna be loud, so it's gonna be all right. Just close your ears and get to hear
Daniel
it.
Bryan
Some fans. What she say? Some fans are louder than others, or idiots, or I don't remember what she said.
That was us. We're proud of it.
We were into it. That's what we get into.
What is wrestling for? It's for us. It's for the fans. We're
science.
supposed to get into it.
We
We're
want to
supposed
pay
to care.
$70 to sit there and just look like it's a play.
Why are you not in front of your TV? Why are you spending that money to sit in a seat and not like it?
Yeah.
It's like,
cheer, get up, and have a good time.
Daniel Bryan comes out, and J-Man tried to get you're going to get your effing head kicked and chanting on.
Ryan helped me for a little bit.
Yeah, I helped too, but the lady behind us like, you need to watch your mouth.
That never would have happened in
Yeah,
1998.
it's not going to happen in Ring of Honor. It's not going to happen in TNA.
Yeah.
You're going to get your fucking head kicked in. Is something that's followed Daniel Bryan from everywhere he's been. If you're a true Daniel Bryan fan, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
This lady was like, you need to watch your mouth.
Yeah, it's just you get that there's total separation when it comes to and even with TNA, one of the biggest things that I see with them is when they changed in 2010 to having the Hogan and Bischoff era. There was, the hardcore TNA fans that were almost like Ring of Honor fans. Were like guys that were,
they're a cult.
Followed that company. Like guys like just like me. Like I followed it before, way long before they were there. And you just get it. Just all of a sudden it just stops, and like something changes, and the crowd's different. They start planting people like that Hogan guy in the Impact Zone. It's like, what is it, 1994 Nitro?
They have
not Nitro, it was around, but 1994 WCW. But it's like. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
That's one thing I really despise on TNA about it is they have the gall to plant fans to start chants or
do certain brain. We're not stupid.
Stupid stuff, and it's just I don't know. I'm just TNA fans to me. It's just they're so up in the air. You get the front row and you have like 7 hot girls in the front row, and it's just like
you have no idea what's going on.
Why are they there?
Hey,
they don't even know nothing.
And don't forget Brooke Hogan is the Impact on pay-per-views.
But it's just you get that when you have that separation of a company that like TNA. TNA is a great example with the just transition of fans that they've had is they start to get the people in that don't really know TNA's foundation or don't really know TNA's the
they're
company
there
that
for
was
Jeff
there.
Hardy. They're there for Hogan.
Yeah,
they're there for guys that they've seen in WWE prior because it's right now it looks like a 2006 WWE ripoff right now. But it's like just there's so many different dichotomies of wrestling fans that. It really shows the landscape of how it really is. But that will wrap up now our IWR Topix show. For my partners, Robert and Ryan, I'm your host J-Man. Thank you for watching another edition of the Instant Wrestling Report, your source for wrestling news, information, and opinions instantly.
This is a battleground!